Hey everybody, it's Gypsy. Um, it's late at night. I was just watching this video, got me to thinking, and if I have thoughts on something, I have to talk about it right away, otherwise I lose it, because my mind is always going. But I had recently done a video called There Are No Saviors. And what I was speaking about then was, well, basically political, mostly political saviors. I feel that we put too much stock in our politicians, including, the leaders of our country. We think they're going to save us. We think they're going to change everything. But they don't. They never do. Now, we do have, all right, one option is better over another. One may make improvements, but to truly save us, well, we do that. But this video that I was just watching got me thinking, well, basically, religion is the same thing. Expecting a savior, putting, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. I am going to explain to you my concept of God. Now, before anybody wants to evangelize to me, I was a Christian for the first 45 years of my life. My last church was very Bible based. I would say like evangelical. I would call it extreme Christian. I started out Catholic and worked my way up that way. But I eventually had to leave. It was time for me to leave. And my view of God is different than most. I am in no way an atheist. It's impossible for someone like me to be an atheist, because an atheist not only doesn't believe in God, an atheist doesn't believe in anything but the physical realm, here and now, and that after death there is absolutely nothing. I have other realms in my face all the time. I've had many, let's say, incidents throughout my life since I was a very tiny child. Not just spiritual, but of other worlds, other places in the universe, coming to visit me, okay? I'm not going to get into the specifics with this video. So I've always had this since probably I was a baby, I would think. I think the furthest back I remember, my dad is telling me he thinks, and now my dad has died in 1997, but I could still hear him. He thinks I was about 4 or 5. I would say somewhere between like 3 and 5. So that's the first one I can remember. Probably more before that, as a baby. For instance, like, I thought I had met my great-grandmother, Ethel Newell. I could have sworn I met her, that I knew her as a small child. She died before I was born. I didn't realize that. I thought I knew her as a child. So stuff like that was always going on with me. But anyways, so I cannot be an atheist. It's impossible for someone like me to be an atheist. And, those of you who think I have these things happen because I did something wrong, how does a toddler, a preschooler or a toddler or baby possibly do anything wrong to have these things start happening? But yeah, I'm not going to get into that. So how I see God, now you guys know, I call God the creator, or I call God source God, creator God, whatever. So, to me, The Creator is the original spirit, and we all have come directly from this original spirit. And the Creator created everything in this universe. Okay? Once the Creator started creating life on various planets, not that the Creator is not involved, the Creator God experiences everything with us. What we perceive as good and bad, the Creator experiences with us. However, their free will is a real thing. And it is free will. There's nothing in between free will and control. Okay? Everything is our own choice. Okay? The Creator's with us. The Creator's experiencing it with us. But it's more like, okay, here it is. What do you want to do with it? And whatever you want to do with it is fine by me. I will be there with you and we'll go through it together. But you are the one, you have the free will, you have the choice. Now, that is on an individual level and as a group, as in a mass consensus. So this is why I say there are no saviors. Okay? We are our own saviors. We make the choice. Okay, so it's like, all right, you have weird shit going on in the world and, you know, you don't want to change it. Well, Creator God is like, okay, this is what you want. Okay. So we have gotten ourselves in a position where we believe, and to me, what I see today is people view the government and all this social stuff as a religion, and that the government is God. To me, that's what I see, okay? On a religious level, not the way I see it. And they expect that the government is going to save them. Whoever's the next leader of whatever country is going to save that country or save the world, whatever. No. As a mass consensus, on an individual basis and on a mass consensus, it is up to change it if we wish. And even though we are all so different individually, culturally, different based on countries, we can still, all right, so what if we're different? Freedom is the one thing we all agree on. We all want freedom. Or at least we should all want freedom. And that's why I always say we got to put our differences aside and unite on being free. Someday, humanity is going to get to a point where we won't even need government at all. Personally, I don't think we do. I have enough confidence in humanity that we are not bad, we're not evil. And that if we start encouraging each other and talking each other up, that we'll realize we're not evil. And this world will be a totally different place. But it's up to us. So politically and religiously, or spiritually, to me, religion is not a thing for me. Spiritually, it's up to us. There are no saviors. We all come from Source God. And therefore, we have the ability to say, no, this is what we don't want, and this is what we do want. Okay? And this way, when we have the freedom, we can live our own lives regardless of, well, who agrees with it and who doesn't. And like I always say, everything in love, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. Do as you will, harm none. So there are no saviors. We are our saviors. And since we come from Source God, we have the ability to do it and do it in love. Don't let anybody convince you that you're bad or you're evil. Remember where you came from. When I say remember, I mean on a spiritual basis. I talked about that the difference between spiritual memory and actual physical memory of this particular lifetime. There's a difference. But when you know in your heart where you're from and you're from God, and God is love, therefore so are you. But there are evil forces in this universe, on this planet, in this universe as a whole, that wants us not to remember that and brainwashed us out of it. Okay? Now, not everybody in the universe is bad. Not everybody on earth is bad, and not everybody in the universe is bad. There are those from other places in the universe who are on our side and are rooting for us. So always remember that. But they're not saviors. They're our allies. We got to be each other's allies to get this changed. So try not to sit back and wait for someone or something to come and save you, because it's not going to happen. We have been doing that for so long that here we are with corrupt governments. You know, on the surface, a new world order might sound great because you're thinking unity, but it is not the unity that someone who remembers where they came from, God, means. It's different. It is, well, we're going to control the entire globe, and we're going to tell you what to do, what to eat, what to drive, what to, okay? We're not at the point where we can have a one world order that is actually loving, healthy, and good for us, okay? Because if we're going to have a one world order, guess who should be running it? We the people. So I'm going to say, start with being your own savior. Think of different scenarios that could happen. Well, what do I do to take care of myself? Food has gotten awfully, I mean, I was in the grocery store today to pick up one. I don't shop at regular grocery stores often unless I really have to. And the prices just, I'm shocked. I have sticker shock every time I go into a grocery store. When my children, now my oldest would be turning 37 in December. My youngest is 26. When I used to buy ground meat because it was 99 cents a pound, we'll go look how much ground meat is now. You're talking $7, $8 a pound. Okay, so you have that, the price of food, food shortages, etc. Well, how would you take care of yourself in a situation like that? What would you do for yourself? And then what you want to do, and this is just one example. There are so many things, not just food, that is being controlled by those who do not have our highest and best good at heart. So we need to think about these things and plan for these things, but you start with yourself. So what would I want? And then I think, all right, now this is what I would want. This is how I would make sure I'm covered. And then I carry it out further to my family, my son and daughter-in-law, his dad, etc. You know, I'm very heavily into gardening, growing my own food. I'm trying to teach my sister how to garden. This week I'm going to see her. I'm going to be bringing her some seeds, get her started with a fall garden. And, you know, I hand dipped taper candles. I'm going to give some to her. Things like that. My strawberry plants. So that's my family. Then I'm going to go a little further out into my community. My strawberry plants had some runners that had rooted. I potted those up and I gave them to a couple of my neighbors. They're young people who have children. So you go out on a community level So you have yourself, your family, and your community. I think those three are the most important. And that when we take care of ourselves, our family, and our communities, and then you have the next community over doing the same thing, and it's all around the world, all around the globe, then you're taking care of yourselves. You're not relying on a savior. Okay, now food is just one example. You've got power. You've got, you know, other factors, water, things like that. Think about how you can take care of yourself. Now, yes, you are divinely guided when you ask. You have your higher self, which is actually you, a higher aspect, a more knowledgeable spiritual aspect of yourself, which actually resides in the spirit realm, guiding you. It's all connected to Source God. So yes, you are getting that divine intervention, but you're doing it yourself too. You're thinking, and you're putting that vibration out there. Is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? What should I do? You'll be guided. Okay, so, but that's not really being a savior. You're saving yourself. You're thinking for yourself. You're growing spiritually. And when you start with yourself, take care of yourself first so you can take care of others. So next your family, then your community. I'm trying to think of ways sorry, my camera decided it was going to go off again. So I'm trying to think of ways to continually expand my growing season, learning how to save seeds and sharing them with others. I want to figure out how to do a seed bank so that I could share with my neighbors and my family, like my sister, my brother, etc. How I can even somehow figure out maybe a trade, exchange, something like that. This way we can become self-sufficient, because there's no reason we need to rely on governments to take care of us. Just think about it. When Source God created everything, look at the other animals, because people are animals. Look at the other animals on this planet. We think we're so smart. No, we're not. You watch the other animals, all right? I'm surrounded by woods, and I see the birds and the squirrels, the chipmunks, deer, coyote, everything. They don't pay for anything. They don't have anybody controlling them. Everything they need has been provided for them since the beginning of this planet. And the same thing was for us. That was the Garden of Eden. God gave us everything we needed to survive. But we're so smart. We don't need this stuff. We're going to come up with something different. And God's like, okay, well, as usual, if that's what you want, go ahead. And that was the getting booted out of Eden. And in the Bible, it words it that God said we will have to work to live, to survive. And we did. We started, farming and stuff like that. And then eventually we went out working for other people, which I don't understand. Believe me, you have enough to do at home to provide for yourself. You don't need to be working for other people. But, we said, no, thank you. What's out there? And I do forage sometime. I do. I will go out in the woods and I will get food out there. We said, no, thank you. And decided to do it the hard way. Work our butts off. Because why? As Jesus said, would God provide for the birds and flowers and etc., and not for us? Sometimes I feel very well, not sometimes, all the time, okay? All the time, I'll admit it. Jesus was misquoted, okay? He was, or misunderstood. I don't know. That's one area I really feel he was. He was trying to say, what are you people, idiots? And maybe that's what the manna story was about too. Why would God provide for everything else on this planet but not humans? So we don't need these governments or anybody else taking care of us. Yes, we help each other, we work together, etc. And we do everything in love. We'll be okay. We don't need these saviors. Okay? I think I'm done with my rant. I'm going to call it a night, go to sleep. Sirius is over there panting away, going, okay, when are we going to bed? Yeah, here he comes. You want to say, no, he's not. He's going to get a drink of water first. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be. And make it a joyful one.